Is screen scraping of LinkedIn profiles really a data breach?
So Karen, is there something about our LinkedIn accounts that we should be concerned about?
LinkedIn has been the recipient of a massive screen scraping exercise by the bad guys. Overall, they're saying there are over 600 million LinkedIn profiles that are for sale out there. Getting email addresses, birth dates, names, professional organizations, social media content, all of this stuff that's out there publicly that people put out there on their LinkedIn profiles. And so now, if somebody really wants to target you, the advantage of all of this data is that they can now get more specific information about you. So they know what college you went to. They might know, that you're an architect. And so therefore, spear phishing campaigns can be much more selective. They have email addresses and birth dates. Obviously, your information is public, but it's meant for another purpose, right? It's meant for us to kind of communicate with each other, maybe look for a job on LinkedIn, something like that, not to be used in this kind of way, in this massive collection of data. So I thought it was a very interesting article that it was, that this had happened those few times. So a couple of things, what can you do? It's, number one is you might want to change your password. That's always kind of a good idea. You might want to take some of your private information off of your LinkedIn profile, although removing your email address if you're actively looking for a job may not be the smartest thing to do. But, if you're not, you might want to take that off or change it. And also always, using two-factor authentication. And then, the things that we always say in terms of spear phishing is, if you get an email from somebody that you are not expecting it, or something that you think is a little bit suspicious, certainly don't click on it and make sure that it's a legitimate thing before you kind of go after it, because this is exactly what all of this data is good for the bad guys.
Yeah, this is interesting. I do have a couple questions. The first is, do we know if this was done from, actually, I might have answered my own question, because as far as I know, when I go to LinkedIn these days, in order to actually view anything of any value, I do have to be logged in, I think, unless someone has explicitly made their stuff like very public. Do we know if this scraping was done by a logged in user or by a completely unauthenticated user? Is there any indication of that?
It didn't say that, but that is a good point. But it doesn't take much to log in from, to create a LinkedIn profile. But that is a really interesting point. I don't think that they pointed that out in the article.
Okay.
That's interesting. It's an interesting clarification.
And that leads me to my second question is, what is the functional difference between scraping 600 million LinkedIn account records and logging into LinkedIn and performing a targeted search for the information that I actually want to access without scraping it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but presumably your search would be targeted in some way, right? If you're looking for something, and so you're not going to return everybody's data. You're not going to return 600 profiles. And I think that's probably part of what LinkedIn is, arguing about, that their data is inherently public. They can't really do anything about this. They need everything to be public. I think, according to in the article, there are things that other companies have done to limit some of the screen scraping. There is technology out there that could be used to be effective at making sure that there is a differentiation of doing a search versus just sucking in all of the data and then obviously exposing it.
And to bring up just a thought that's based on both of your comments, going out and scraping a targeted group within LinkedIn or any type of site like that, I mean, that's targeted. But if you're a bad actor and you don't care about a specific group, but you go and you grab all 600 million, now you can take that data and post it out there for sale because you did all the work. Now someone can buy that data and then they can use that data and do numerous types of targeted attacks because now they've got the data. Maybe they're looking for, as you said, Karen, architects. They can focus some on architects, maybe something IT related, maybe something that is charity related. So
Sure.
I think, either way, it's not good.
Yeah, it is for sale. That's the whole point of the article is that this stuff is for sale. And in fact, the guys are saying now that their latest scrape is better than their last one. They got more data, better data. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're selling it out there for, you got to believe that this is not for good. They're not selling this data for good things. It's not, if you're looking for somebody who wants a job as a second grade teacher, you're not looking out there on stolen data from LinkedIn. So, clearly this is exactly what they did it for selling the data in whatever combinations somebody's looking for. So I think that's exactly what they're probably doing. They're saying, what do you want? Do you want architects? Do you want IT professionals? Do you want, development managers of colleges? They probably could give you all of those things, I guess. I don't know how they're marketing it.